Hey guys, this video is the second in a series of answering questions for upcoming or new mothers. So today we're going to discuss what are some realistic expectations to have of your newborn. Before you actually have your baby, you may hear lots of different stories from family members, friends who have had babies, people online. I had no idea what to expect or how it would really be. And I don't think that you can fully explain, as motherhood is something that you learn along the way, because no two labours are the same, no two babies are the same, and no two mothers are the same. It's a journey with all your own personal ups and downs. But there are some things that we can mention to help us see what the realities of a newborn are in comparison to what you may just see these perfect Instagram moms doing. So in no particular order, number 1. You will change your mind about the way you want to raise your baby 1,000 times. Since I first got pregnant and gave birth, my views on how to raise my kids have changed so many times that I can't even count. Should I sleep train? If so, when? Should I introduce a bottle? If so, when? What methods will I use to do these things? Know that it is normal, and even if you think you have your mind made up about it now, it's okay to keep learning, researching, and just find out what is best for you and your baby. Also, your experiences will change your views on these things too. Maybe you try to start sleep training and you can't deal with the crying. That's fine if it's not for you. There is one thing considering what seems like the logical pros and cons, and another thing when your baby is now in your arms and your whole world is flipped upside down. This literally happened to me. When my second baby was born, I was 100% sure I wanted to introduce her to a bottle alongside breastfeeding from day one. Then Corona came about, and I was so panicked about making sure her immune system was protected that 6 months later, she still doesn't have a bottle. But I made that decision for her health, and that was more important to me. Number 2, you will have to prioritize your time. Once your baby is born, you will have a human being in front of you whose existence is reliant on you. So know that a large percentage of your time will now be with your baby. You'll still be able to do things yourself. I was still able to see friends, get things done, but you can't have this complete independent woman mentality because it's not going to be that simple. There's someone else to consider with everything you decide to do from now on. Number 3, motherhood is beautiful and stressful. Your baby will likely be the absolute most beautiful thing you have ever seen, and at the same time be the one thing on this planet that makes you want to pull your own hair out. Know that stress related to your baby does not mean that you love your baby any less, and it's so normal to feel stressed, as you are so used to all of your time and energy being for yourself, and along comes this tiny human who wants to take it all up. It's more unusual if that doesn't stress you out. Not every mum's mood is the same. It will fluctuate. During this journey of motherhood, you'll have high moods and low moods. It's a constant state of mixed emotions. Depending on how well your baby feeds, sleeps, etc. will probably depend on your mood. I feel like looking back, I could have done a lot more than I did, but I made excuses for myself out of the guise of I have a newborn. This is only because you are comparing the amount of time you have now to the amount of time you had to yourself before. Just make the most of that time rather than focusing on how little you have in comparison. They are a part of your life now. Number 4, everyone bonds with their baby in a different way. They will likely be your absolute life and you would die to protect them, but it is normal if you do not bond with them instantly. You are blessed if you do. There are ways of encouraging a bond between mother and baby, such as skin to skin when they're first born, breastfeeding, etc. However, there's no set way which guarantees you'll be super close with them instantly. Number 5, sleep deprivation sucks. You will likely not sleep for the first few months, and potentially even longer if you don't want to consider sleep training. If you are considering sleep training right now, you might even change your mind 1,000 times before they actually get to the age of sleep training. But the habits that you instill within them at a young age, even in the first couple days, will stick with them. For example, if you hold them and feed them to sleep, that will stick with them. Or if you put them down in a dark room with some white noise, that will stick to them. All of the options are fine, but make sure that you are doing what you're prepared to do for a long time. It's not impossible to change their habits, but it's a lot harder once they've got them. If you cuddle them for the first few days, they will get used to it. However, that's not to say it's a bad thing to cuddle them. It's completely natural to want to hold your baby. Just prepare yourself for the longer term effects if that's the choice that you decide to make. Newborns do, however, usually sleep a lot in the day. Try and sleep when they do, even though I know that's easier said than done. You don't have to sleep every time they do, but even a 15-minute nap may really help you get through that sleep deprivation stage. Formula. Linking back to what I mentioned about habits, this goes to multiple things, not just sleep. It also applies to the milk they have. If you get them used to breastfeeding, it may take a while to get them onto a bottle when they're older. They'll unlikely just take a bottle once you're tired of feeding. Different kids will of course react differently. With Issa, for example, he took a bottle easily if it was my milk, but he hated formula for months, whereas Sarah hates a bottle regardless of what's in it. And if anything, she probably prefers formula. Either way, it's difficult to get them on once they're used to feeding from you. There are so many other things I could mention, but in the interest of not making this video like 10 years long, I think these were the main ones that stood out to me. However, let me know if there was anything else that stood out to you in the comments, and I'd love to hear what other mums' experiences are. Assalamu alaikum.